Hi, hello everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope we've had an amazing day so far. Let me see in the chat section how ready we are. Thank you for coming on board. I'm sure that hi, good evening, lovers. Good evening, Mark the Grace. Damn Lord, how are you? Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited about today's session. Like, I have power packed questions for Orifunke Lawal as usual. You people know that I don't use forehand when it comes to that one, but I hope we're ready. I hope we're as ready as I am. All right. So let me see if you are ready. Let me see if you're ready. All right. So Orifunke Lawal is ready for us. So you people should show that you're ready so that we can move on. Yeah, we don't want to we don't want to do night vigil or vigil here the way we did last time, but it was worth it, right? Yes, we're ready. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's wait for others to join. Let's just wait like 1 minute. Once it's 8:05, we're done. We're not waiting for anybody, we're moving straight up. Yeah. All right. So I'm sure that a lot of us already know Rifunke Lawal, right? Public figure. So I'm sure that you already know her, and I'm sure that we already understand what she's bringing for us today. It's not beans, right? So let's just be ready. I'll be reading up her bio in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm seeing Adewumi. Adewumi, I saw you during the time we had a remote session, and you're here too. So it's good to see you. All right. So I'm just going to read up what we have here. I'm sure that some of us have seen this already. Yeah, we sent it as broadcast messages, newsletters, and also I'm sure that we're ready. Yes, our president too, my president, my president. So yeah. Um. Okay. 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 All right. So it's already 8:05. 8:05. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So Aditoro. Okay. Hi. We have two Adekes here. Igbo sisters. All right. So good evening, everyone. My name is Abayomi Della. I'm sure that you probably heard from me before. I'm the convener of Becoming More with Della. So it's more like an event that we run every year or sometimes in between the years, in different location. This is the fifth edition we are having. We had two online and two offline. We had one in Ibadan, we had another one in Ife, right? And if you've been in the physical events that we've had, I'm sure that you know how amazing it has always been. So, right, this is not any short of it. We had a remote session on Sunday, and gosh, it blew my mind, right? So he spoke a lot about relationship, marriage. We spoke a bit about talking stage, boundaries around talking stages. Um we also spoke about hot breakfast and hot. That was like those two topics were just so spot on for me. And tonight we're going to be having Orifunke Lawal come on board. So it's going to be primarily be a question and answer session. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to share with me so that we can have those questions as well. But I already have my own questions. People trust me to have beautiful questions. I really deep question. We can get all the things that we need from Orifunke Lawal before she, runs away from us again tonight. So yeah, let me just go on with our bio. Um, yeah, Orifunke Lawal is a digital entrepreneur and a female empowerment advocate. She's the founder of Lady Rebels, a community geared towards active social impact and change. She also runs Orifunke Lawal Academy, where she trains and develops the skills of youths through her courses and also different speaking engagements. She's a public speaker. She's a change maker, an impact maker. She'll be speaking to us tonight on the need and importance of social change and how a society is truly impacted by change. And she'll be sharing also with us her building and sustenance of Lady Reborn's community. It's our anniversary. Please let me not act like I'm not part of Lady Reborn's community. Let me be proud. Let me be proud this night. You should permit me. So I'm a part of Lady Reborn's community, and please, if you are not a part of Lady Reborn's community, you're missing a lot. But you can follow us on social media. Let me boast a bit. So follow us on social media, Lady Reborn's NG. Check us out. You really now we be that now, we sabi. Now we now. So we would also learn from her on how to combine social change and income, making income and with the perfect balance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a standing ovation Orifunke Lawal. We're going to be having her, and in 1, 2, yeah, we have her. Hi, Orifunke. Hi, good evening. Well, it's
Hi,
nice to have.
everyone.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hey, hey,
Good evening. For those of
it's
you
good
who
to
are
have
still in
you.
Nigeria, you know, good
Yeah,
evening.
good evening. So,
Good
yeah,
to see you.
I think our first question to you will be, who are you? Right. So I feel like we might not be able to cover everything. So, or we might not be able
Okay.
to, sometimes people ask you, what do you do? Who are you? I know that is a big question somehow because where are we going to start from? But just give us a brief explanation of who you are.
Okay, who am I? Beyond my bio. Okay, so my name is Orifunke Lawal. I, I like to call myself a knowledge entrepreneur. So I am really fascinated about helping people know more. Let me take it in terms of my pains or my frustrations. I like when I see people almost saying things that I don't know. It just irritates me. I'm like, this is plain. It should be common sense, but I'm not able to use common sense because there are things that even I do not know. So I'm not become on the proud. But yes, I really do not like it when there are things that I believe I know or things that other people should not know and they do not know. So I'm really against ignorance. I'm this person who wants people to know, who wants them to be enlightened. And this sort of sums up the majority of the things that I do. Starting late with goals. I wanted us to start because I wanted people to know how to be self-confident. There were things I was like, this is supposed to be common knowledge, but it wasn't common
Yeah.
knowledge. And I'm like, okay, let me teach people. So I'll say I'm an equiper, I'm an educator, I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer. And so all the expressions that I have, helping people to know more, whether it's spiritually, whether it's with their careers, with their brands, everything is just under me wanting people to learn more, to grow, to know more. So yes, that's why I really just call myself a knowledgepreneur or a knowledgepreneur.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much for that brief introduction. I think my next question to you will be, looking at all the things you do, I see that it relates to making impact, doing things that actually involve helping people. So, what does social impact mean to you?
All right, so social impact for me, and in respect to the work I do, is creating systems, creating avenues through which change can be effected to people on a larger scale. It may even be a larger scale per se. But are you there? I can't see you again on my screen. Is that still there? But yes, so social impact is creating impact for a group of people, for a specific set of people. And a lot of times, especially in today's world, it usually has its basis in the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So the idea is that you find a problem that is affecting a community, a group of people, and then you decide that, hey, I want to be able to solve this problem. I want to meet this need. I want to reach these people. And so that's the basis of social impact. Wanting to create change for a group or a community of people in a specific level or on a specific level, and usually with respect to SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to ask a two in one question.
Okay.
I think the first to be around, people have different ideologies when it comes to social impact, and I want you to address them. The first one is usually around how that social impact has to be one really big thing. We have to pack ourselves to a village and do an outreach. If it's not that one, we are not, it's not social impact. And the second one is, people think that when it's social impact, it has to be free all the time, right? So I understand the whole thing around, oh, we want to do charity, we want to be a charity organization. And sometime around March this year, I realized that particularly women have something towards, oh, let's help the community, let's help this society for free, let's do everything for free all the time, right? And they never recognize that part of, you can actually do a social impact project and it's not free. But let me know your thoughts, right? Because I know that from the Orifunke Lawal Academy, that's a huge dynasty there, right? That has to do with impacting people, but we're still making money, right? So, what are your thoughts on these two ideologies?
All right. So for the first question, social impact and people thinking you have to, go to a village and all of that. I want to just really mention, first of all, that impact is impact, irrespective of the name that is ascribed to it. So an impact comes
Yeah.
on different levels. So whether it's the church, whether it's academics, whether it's
Mm,
education, impact is impact. So when you look at this idea, when you think about how impact can be in anything, impact can be on any level. It sort of calibrates your mind so that you start to see how to create impact wherever you are, beyond just saying, okay, we want to go to this city, go to this village. All of these are dimensions of impact, and they're amazing, right? But one thing I have found out is, if you are not passionate about impacting one person, right? If
mm,
you want to say, okay, I want to reach 1 million people in rural areas in Nigeria, it's going to be a struggle for you. It's not going to come from the art. Even if you try to do something, you just know deep down that, okay, I'm not really doing this. I want to change lives. I'm not doing this because I want to reach people. I'm not doing this because I want to make a difference, right? So social impact is not necessarily related, or it doesn't always have to be um, large scale projects. A social impact project can
mm,
just be, I identified somebody who is in school, who is struggling through school, and I'm like, for the next um, 3 sessions that you have until you finish school, I'm going to send you
mhm,
a particular amount of money every month. Do you
mm,
understand? Social impact could be, okay, I know 2 people, they are struggling to pay their 19,700 naira fees. You can relate, but they're struggling to pay their 19,700 naira fees every session. And you're like, okay, you know what? Every session until you graduate, I am going to give you the money. I'm going to put you on a personal scholarship. I'm not announcing it to the
Mm.
I'm not designing a flyer. I'm a
Yeah.
flyer person, so I'm exactly what I'm changing anybody, but I'm not announcing it to the world. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, okay, I realize that this is a challenge. I realize that this is a problem. And I want to be able to invest in you so that you can get to where
Mm.
you want to go to without the hardships in there. It
Mm.
can be as I don't want to call it as small, because for me, impact is not small, right?
Yes.
We just be human beings, just really like to ascribe importance with numbers, and I understand that from the non-profit or from even not even non-profit, from worldly aspects, right? But for me,
Mm.
impact is not small. But at the same
Mm.
time, we also need to realize that some people, the impact you would need to make in life, it's not going to be pronounced. It's not going to be popular. It's not going to be round the world. It will not grow
Mm.
forever, right? But
Mm.
it is still going to matter to the people that you've been sent to do it for. Do you understand? It doesn't make it less than impact. So if you don't feel like you're called or you're passionate about doing all this, we're going to community, we're doing an outreach here, we are doing different initiatives that are amazing. Honestly, you can do it where you are. And a very good
Mm.
example, I know people who do part of the initiatives. I think it's really amazing
Mm-hmm.
because through it, you're also able to educate these girls, menstrual hygiene, and all of that. But a very similar example is, let's assume you do not have the capacity or the interest to reach 1,000 ladies. You have people in your area, you have people in your community, you have people in your church who likely will not be able to afford this yet. Buy them pads and give them 5 girls, 5 girls. How much is pad? Let me tell you, okay, this month you need, okay, how much you need over the next 6 months. You're providing pads for them. It's not popular, but it is impactful all the same. So impact is not just in the numbers, like 1 million people, 2 billion people, right? It's also what makes impact, right, is in the intention and the results.
Mm.
Intention, the results, and the people. Yes, that's what I would like to see. The intention. Why exactly are you doing? Because if your intention is not right, mm, well, it doesn't mean anything to me. So in the results, what are you getting? And the people, what difference are you really making simply because you are a part of their lives? Yes, so that's it. Then for the second question that you asked, how do we solve the idea of if it's impact, then it's not profitable, and if it's profitable, then you don't. I think it's only a charity organization or NGOs or non-profit organizations that need to do this entire. We don't pay. Now I understand that I've been there before, and it's reflective of the kind of society that we have, right? It's very
Mm-hmm.
reflective. We live in an extremely entitled society. Yes, so people
Mm.
expect that if you want to do anything, you shouldn't be getting paid for it. People expect
Mm.
that. How you say you are impacting people and you are collecting
You're
money.
collecting money.
I've
Uh-huh.
seen that a lot. People, or if people, or some people, their idea of impact is that you can collect money. When money is not plenty, like 500 naira,
That's small.
just for some people that are not the mass, not to everybody, not to everybody, don't collect us know that you're strictly a business woman. Let's know.
Mm.
So it's really reflective of thinking. But the truth is, impact is capital intensive. Me, I
Mm.
know from 4 years,
Yes,
2 years,
yes.
impact is extremely capital intensive, and there's
Mm.
a limit to the kind of impact. If you are the person who should normally reach people, there's a limit to the level of impact you can get if you do not have money. And
Mm.
even
Yeah.
if you were not reaching 100 people or 2 million people or large number, even if you were reaching 5 people, if there's no money, right, it's going to be harder. Because sometimes, and I'm sure pastors can relate this very much. Sometimes there's a sister
Mm.
or there's a brother that is
That needs
like he's
something.
backsliding, and you're like, what's going on? You have to be
Mm.
pressing. What is not just? have money to eat. He
Mm.
doesn't have food stuff. So now, personally, you know that okay, this brother, the only thing he needs is food. If there is food, it's going to come. Now, imagine you
Mm-hmm.
don't have money to give the brother food. They are just going to be
Mm.
pumping motivation inside, maybe out of
And
saying
be praying within prayer
and
meeting.
people that will just be like, take it. When they want the brother will just go to one church, first time man, they'll give him package, give him food, give him jollof rice,
And
then
that's
they'll say, this
it.
is the God that's called me to. You stay there, will not come back to your church again. So impact is capital intensive. Even sometimes it's not a lot of money, but I can tell you, if it's
Mm.
500 naira, it is still capital intensive. And so
Yes.
you get to places or you get to stages where if the vision you have begins to grow and that is not there, you struggle. You start to get angry. You start to
Yeah.
lose sight of the vision. Everyone that comes to me, you're like, what's my business with you? Everybody, please.
Oh
Do
my
you understand?
God.
So the fact that
Mm.
it is impactful does not mean that there won't be money involved or people do not have to pay,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and that's why we have business. A business can be impactful. If it's the fact that there's money attached to it or there's a price tag attached to it does not mean that it is not meant to be impactful. Like people just think impact does not have to be free. In fact, any
Yeah.
impact that you think is free is being paid for by somebody.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is being
Exactly.
paid for by somebody. If you attend a free
Mm-hmm.
course, somebody is paying for the person, if it's either in data or in power. Maybe for
Yeah.
instance, you don't have light, you have to go buy fuel for your generator because you live and see people. So it may
Mm.
look like it's free capitally to you. I'm not paying anything. I'm just there, I'm just but there is somebody who is bearing the brunt. Sometimes it's the person who is organizing, sometimes it's the sponsors that they're going to reach and say, we want to organize this one and this one and this one. Do you understand? So the things that people think are charity, why they do charity organizations run on funds from people
Mm-hmm.
that you do
Yes.
not know. So
Yes.
it
Yes.
doesn't have to be you. Sometimes you pay, sometimes you don't pay, depending on the structure of the organization. And
Mm.
organizations also need to determine how they are going to draw funds, and sometimes it's going to be through partnerships, through other merchandise, through other ones without directly tasking those who are the beneficiaries of whatever it
Mm.
is that they're delivering. Some, like my academy, you have to pay. You get to pay so that you can receive impact, right? So whether it's paid, whether it's free, there are all streams of impact. If the fact that you're paying for it does not mean it's because I pay for it that it's not impactful or impactful. But that one
Mm.
didn't pay anything. It changed my life. Impact so far. No, it's not like that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Like that's a whole lot because to be very honest, it just dawned on me in March that there's actually something like that where you feel like oh, well, let me just continue making it free. What if I put a price on it and nobody pays? Or what if and all of those things, right? And again, for my charity organization, right, because I run an organization that I don't call a charity organization anymore because I'm like, fam, come off it. You get to a point where you actually have to put prices on it for because it got to a point where we were stuck. I now thought about it. Okay, what if we create a training for parents, to be able to actually take care of their kids? And thinking about it again, I'm like, so Della, you going to do that one for free again? Wow, wow, wow. You must be another what now? Mary Celeste or what? Right? But a lot of times looking at it, you now realize that when you get to a point in running the project, you are now angry, like, oh, assuming they paid for this thing now, Shebi will be
Yeah.
able to do this, we'll be able to do
Yes.
that. So for me, except it's an instruction or except I look at it, I'm like, okay, I think we can financially carry this.
Carry
We do it
this.
for free. But when it gets to a point where agbára wa ò ká,
Mm-hmm.
even though Yoruba, it means like our power cannot carry it. We say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
people, and put a price on it. And I think it goes a long way even for us as individuals that when we see something valuable, show it's just courtesy, like show I don't know, interest, or just put a price on it. Don't always be about free things. So an experience also
Mm-hmm.
that happened to me while we were doing publicity for this, people didn't even go to check the link to see how to register. It was like 2 days student, like they like just check the link and I saw that it's free. Oh, I thought it was paid. So in my mind, I'm
Really?
like, you know that this was valuable, right? But you didn't even go to check at all to see if you can afford it in the first place. You just decided that, oh, it's paid, skip, it's paid, skip. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not how to do things. So thank you very
That's
much for
that's
that
a
wholesome answer.
very limited
I
mindset.
think the
Yeah.
next thing I want to ask you is the next thing I want to ask you is about Orifunke Lawal Academy. Now, about the name, why Orifunke Lawal Academy? Why an academy with your name? I don't know if somebody has asked you that before, but I think it's an answer that I'm really interested in, especially because as a woman, right, you come up
I get
tomorrow
that.
now and the Lawal is going somewhere else, is going where you don't know, right? So, what were your thoughts? What was your thought process when you were curating or when you thought about the name?
Okay, so I would say that I place a very, very high premium on my name. Yes.
Mm,
So of course there's the part where I was really my name is my name. I love my name.
mhm.
I There's such a premium on my name alone as a brand.
Yeah.
And then for several years before I even launched, I already had this idea of having the Orifunke group of companies. Do you understand?
Mm,
So like
yeah.
I don't know how to explain, but I had the video. There was this time I was working to work. I think it was my first job or first year of my second job, like 4 or 5 years ago. And then there was just this idea, there was just this, I don't call it a vision, so I don't spiritualize it.
Mm,
She understand. Like, but there was this idea, there was not an
yeah.
idea, there was a vision I saw. Laura Pasha, there was
Mm,
a vision I
yes.
saw. And it was so
Let's
clear.
put it like that.
And it was so clear. And I could see
Mm,
my name written on it. So it was a statement of impact. So I just had it in my head that this is going to come to life someday. And it wasn't even just the
mm,
academy, but I knew that there was going to be an academic part, there was going to be another aspect, right? So I just feel that this will come to pass. How we would, I didn't even know I was going to launch in 2 years. I knew I was going to launch an academy, but to be very, very honest, I
mm,
expected that I was going to launch the academy like in the next 7, 10 years. I thought I was going to, just
mm,
be. I didn't plan I didn't plan for long when we launched the academy. In my mind, I was so going to be like, well, it's too far. When I already have money, I already have money, and invest and all of this, and then you can.
O'Shea.
Right. So when we wanted to launch the academy, I already knew what the name was going to be. And
Mm,
so beyond the vision that I had seen, the Original Academy is also supposed to be an expression of my wisdom and my knowledge. So it's not
mm,
just, even though right now most of what we do has to revolve around branding, content creation, designing, but it's going to evolve fast into an expression of the things that I know, the things I've come to believe, and will be able to impact on other people as time
mm,
goes on. Do you
mm,
understand? So it's not just to, yes, I can teach you. I can teach. I believe I teach very well. But right, it's an expression. So it's
mm.
not just come learn how to brand. It's also come learn how to grow. Let's get to the point where your mindset is shaped, where
Yes.
it's changed,
Mhm.
where you're able to see beyond where you currently see, where you're able to develop yourself and achieve your goals, right? So that's why it's like that. It's not like maybe I just want to shine, even maybe I want to shine anyway, but really that
It's okay to shine.
really is the thing. And well,
Yeah.
when we first started, I mean, I would say we just started anyway because we just clocked 2. So we're not gone far,
Mm,
right? So, but in this just 13 years, I've sometimes wondered, okay, what if I want to apply for stuff? And then when they feel like, oh, what she using her name and all of that. But when I got into a 1 year entrepreneurship program earlier this year, I applied with my
mhm.
business name. I said, hey, they added me. They collected me.
Oh
I
my.
never see anything. So anytime we do my sessions or anytime I get to introduce myself on calls, I introduce myself. Oh, my name is
Mm.
Lawal. I'm the founder of the Orifunke Academy, and it's really normal. Nobody's seeing it like
Yeah.
that. Who is here? Whatever. Nobody's seeing it that way. So yes,
Yeah.
right. Yes. So
I think it even piques anybody's attention to say, come, like what effrontery.
exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So I think my next question now would be for people who might be asking, how do I sell what I know? Because I know for you, you're a knowledge entrepreneur. It comes to you even sometimes naturally. I've heard people give reviews about your academy and say, well, if we get Lawal knows how to teach, like she opens your head and puts it inside. Right. So this is somebody who probably knows a lot and they want to also sell. They want to put out the things that they know. What would be your advice on like what processes would you advise that they take to doing that?
Okay, so if you want to start to sell knowledge online, one mistake people often make is that they jump to selling. And I understand, like this economy last time, but if you were not able to think of selling, you think of selling one way or the other. So I completely understand. But if you want to sell your knowledge online, one thing you should do, one thing I would always recommend is don't jump to sell in terms of monetary value. If you can, and you should be able to launch something that is free, right? That's first thing I want to mention. Launch something for free, because if you're going to sell online, you will need proof of people who have been changed or impacted by the knowledge that you want to sell. Do you understand? You will need proof. And if you're just starting, nobody knows you, nobody cares about you, it can be hard to get people to pay for it. It can be hard. It is hard. If nobody knows you, nobody has heard of you, and then you come and say, it's either you have people who can actually skyrocket what you're doing and who have large audiences, or you're selling something that is extremely, extremely, extremely crucial, almost as important as oxygen itself, right? So if you're just starting, you want to sell your knowledge, look at, okay, what exactly can I sell for free that will not be a burden on myself financially or my health, and how can I use this? So what this will do for you is, number one, it will allow you to gauge your level of strength, because sometimes you feel like you know something. Like in my head, I feel like then it's when you get to teach it, you know that you don't know anything. Do you have you experienced that? You're like, okay, well, I thought I knew this, but okay, maybe I should step back. But if you launch something that is paid, what will happen is that maybe a couple of people will pay after you struggle to sell, and then you don't deliver, get frustrated, and these guys also don't feel like you deliver. That's what's going to happen. So you want to say, what exactly can I sell, or what can I push for free, so I can get myself, I can be honest with myself, and then I can also get to see myself from the lenses of other people, what people genuinely thinking about me. What can we do better? What can we press on? What can we cut? And these people can easily give you feedback because it was free. Do you understand? So that's one thing. The second thing I want to mention is, you can look at, when people think about selling knowledge, they feel like you necessarily have to push a course or a webinar. No, there are different angles through which you can sell your knowledge. Number one, and it depends on what you're interested in. For me as a person, I like to teach, I like to speak, I like to talk. I've always liked to talk. So it means that teaching or selling something that's about teaching around teaching somebody something, like physically speaking, audio or video, comes naturally to me because it's something I already like to do. For some people, you like to write. So the way you can sell knowledge is through writing books, or you writing ebooks, or creating guides for people. For some people, the way you can sell your knowledge is you like to give advice. You know that in this area, there's nothing you can ask me in this area that I'm able to pull out from. Right? There's nothing you can say, you can come to meet me, I will find a solution around it. Maybe you should be selling your knowledge via consulting, right? So you don't necessarily have to be a teacher or a trainer like this. You could sell ebooks, you could do consulting, you could sell services as well. That's also a way to sell your knowledge. Do you realize selling your knowledge could also mean selling your services? You know how to write, you know how to sew, you know how to design, you know how to bake. You can sell your knowledge on all of these things, right? So that's number two. And number three is to identify some people first. I mean, if you've never sold online before, you want to identify the obstacles that you have towards selling. I know a lot of people are usually like, how well people buy, but people, how am I sure people are going to buy this? Well, I'm scared, I'm bothered and all of that. And it is completely okay to feel that way, right? Usually it takes many, many, many launches before you get to that point where you're like, okay, anything I want to sell, people are going to buy, right? So it's absolutely not to feel that way. But selling does not mean telling people to come and buy, right? Selling is offering people value and telling them what it would cost them to get that value. So people see selling about, oh yeah, come and I have shoes, I have clothes, I have this course, I have this ebook. No, that's not selling, right? Selling is, this is what you will get when you buy this course. This is what you will get when you buy these shoes. This is what you will get when you buy A or B. And this is how much it would cost you to get it. Because the truth is that nobody buys simply because, if anybody buys something simply because, maybe you're just starting your business and you have friends who want to support them. But over time, people like to pay attention to how important it is to they want to buy is. So if there's really no pronounced benefit of what you're selling, it may be a struggle for you to just say, come and buy it. We have turkey wear. Turkey wear is 25k. Man, I'm like, turkey wear is 25k. It's not just wear clothes. Do you understand? So there's also that you want to be able to sit down and say, if I'm going to sell this thing, what is the benefits that this person is going to get from buying from me? So I'll sell my knowledge. What is the benefit? Why should you come and learn from me? Buy from anybody else? And then there's also the part of sitting down and saying, what will I do differently from others who are already in this space? The knowledge industry it is both saturated and unsaturated. It's a very interesting field, right? It's a very interesting field because you can make millions of money selling your knowledge, right? The barriers of entry are very, very low. Anybody can just come, say they want to do this, and people are buying from them. But it's also saturated because everybody is coming up and selling stuff for the other. And if you want to sell something, there's a likelihood that there's somebody who is selling exactly what you are selling. In fact, there are some people that even if you're saying you want to start, they'll say they'll be watching you, they'll be paying attention to you. Once they see that this is successful, you launch batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, batch 4. The first year, you don't be saying it's even your friends that will be advertising the same course or somebody else, replica of your course. You just be thinking, it's okay, it's a free world after all. So yes, you also want to look at what will be your special, what will be your standout mechanism, what will be your standout strategy. Yeah, so for most of our courses, if not even all of our courses, one of our standout strategies is that at least I teach one module, at least, as in at least minimum, I must teach 1 or 2 modules. Because I want you to have the Orifunke feel. I want you to see me, feel me teach. Because it is a unique selling point for me. You understand? So you want to find something that's, well, you know that's what nobody can take it away from me. Right? Even if people take the name of your course, take the price, if I even reach the price and then change everything, your benefits, they just copy and paste, they will copy your deal and all of that. There's still something about you that will fly, that will work, right? So I think that's like the 4th station. Yes, and finally, you want to sell your knowledge online. It takes time and it takes practice. If you come in and expecting that first launch, like people are going to rush you like you're going to be disappointed. People will not, unless you already have a large fan base. And even if you have a large fan base, it doesn't mean that people are going to buy. There's a common misconception people feel like if you have large following, then once you push anything, people will buy. It's a lie. If you have a large following and you do not know how to sell, you do not learn how to sell, you will be pushing, people will not buy. And that's why a lot of influencers end up. So they have like 250K followers, but they're still struggling to land deals. They're still hustling influencing gigs because they don't know how to sell. Meanwhile, you can have 500 followers. I kid you not. You can have 500 followers, 1,000 followers, and people will buy from you because you know how to sell. Do you understand? Your followers or your following, what the number you have for your following could be a stepping stone. It could be an addition. But if you feel like, I don't have many followers, I only have 200, I only have, and you don't do anything, nothing will work, right? The principles of selling, they work. So whatever you are selling, you know how to sell. They will work. That is just like you do A, you see C. That's how it works, right? So it will take time and it will take practice. So you will need to learn how to keep selling. So personally, one thing that has helped me is I try to change. Okay, so last time this is something that has worked. This is something that works. What can I do better? I'm always changing writing styles. I'm always changing. I'm always storytelling styles generally because I need to be able to appeal to different people in different ways instead of just staying stuck. Even when people are not going to buy, right? So yeah, I think that's well. So yeah. Yeah, that'll be all. So are you still here? Is Della still here? Okay. I think Della could have a little issue with our network. So just wait for like 5 seconds. Yeah, so while I'm waiting for Della to come, let me just give you guys additional tips. So if you want to start to sell online, start from the zone of comfort. Yes, I know typically we demonize the comfort zone, but in this case, you can switch it. Start from the zone of comfort. Are you guys following me? Please, I want to be sure that people are following me. So start from the zone of comfort. The zone of comfort is where you feel most comfortable, what you can much easily. So look at what the skills that you have, look at the experience that you have. I really feel like if you've been doing something consistently for 1 to 2 years, you can pay attention to it. You can pay attention to what it is to sell a particular kind of knowledge. Right. So look at your comfort zone. What is it you can do? Maybe you can make a and maybe you teach people how to make a people. It's also selling your knowledge. Do you understand? So some people think that they say they should come and sell their knowledge. You have to be like they say, come and sell. How do I learn business strategy or data science or whatever? No, people make money teaching people how to make it. I mean, for me now, if I want to learn how to make it and I see somebody teaching people how to make it, I'm going to learn. You have to cook very well. So it doesn't have to be something that is out of where you are. You just follow everybody. Everybody's teaching people how to grow their small business. No. It can be where you currently are. The things that you do, what you naturally find a lot easier than the ordinary person would feel. Sorry, the average person would feel. It could be related to what you studied in school. It could be related to the experiences that you've had. It could be related to a field that you have committed the desire for competence to. Do you understand? So it doesn't have to be something that is, out of it. It should actually be in your zone of comfort. Yeah. So then are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was about to say that was like a whole masterclass. Really, thank you so much. I think my next question now would be around um building a team or administration or structure. Let me put it that way. So for anyone who is probably running a social impact, I mean, business owners in the house, you know that you get to a point where you are the social media manager, you are the graphic designer, you are the PR person, you are your influencer, you're doing every single thing. So how I know you currently have a structure you work with in Orifunke Lawal Academy. So my question to you now would be, how do you outsource talent to work with you or work for you, right? How do you look at what point do you know that, okay, I think I can bring people in now to help me, or I think I can employ expertise to help me in this area of my, so you don't burn out or you don't feel like, oh, this thing I'm already doing is taking up my time. And also looking at the rule of that, sometimes you might be spending your time on things that you're not supposed to spend your time on when you can be using them probably making courses or doing some other things. So what are your thoughts around it? Or how did it work for you? I think that that's what we want to know.
Okay, well, I think one question I would ask myself with respect to that is, what is the opportunity cost of doing this myself? Right? What is the opportunity cost? So by doing this myself, what am I losing?
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
So sometimes you do different things by yourself because you know that what you are losing is less than what you are gaining. Do you get? So
Mm-hmm.
what you're gaining by doing it yourself is way more. So you're like, okay, even if it's stressful and all of that, you can still do it by yourself. But when you get to the point where what you're losing is way more than what you're gaining, for instance, you're losing time, and then it's not just you losing time, you're also not able to deliver other things that will bring income for you. Because when you run a business, there are two things. There are income generating things
Yeah.
or income generating channels, and there are non income generating channels, right? So there are things that
Mm,
if you don't do them, you will not have money. Do you understand? This is like sales. If you
yes.
don't do them, you will not have money. There are some that if you don't do them, we can still find a way around it. We're going to be fine.
Mm,
So you want to look at the opportunity cost of doing things by yourself. So if I say I'm doing my marketing mostly by myself, but I am losing more income than I should be getting doing it by myself, then it means it's time for me to outsource. How can I get more people? How can I deliver? How can I deliver? How can I just really start to make that transition from just myself to people? Right? Some things are not income generating, and then they're taking your time and they're affecting your ability to deliver on bigger tasks. So you must be honest with yourself. It's not the time to say, yeah, I can do everything. I can do all this Christ. You cannot do this one. You cannot. You're going to crash. So you have to be really
yeah.
sincere with yourself. Like, so this can it be done? Can it be delivered to somebody else? And so you also want to look at the benefits for the other person, especially if you're a social impact founder and you're just starting now. You're going to look at the benefits to the other person. What does the other person stand to gain from working with me? Do they gain experience? Do they gain a career transition? Sometimes they may be volunteering, but I want to know if you're volunteering with me over the next 1 year or 2 years, you have competence in that field that you volunteered. You have competence. You're able to say, okay, because I volunteered for so, because I interned for so, I have this competence, and then I'm able to get jobs, get gigs in this field. Do you understand? So you want to look at it from this other angle. And when you also start looking at things that you need to outsource, one thing that will happen is that you start to look at your brain. Because I feel like this is really important for entrepreneurs. Your brain will start to analyze what is important and what is not so important. You're just like, okay, this because what did entrepreneurs do? And I don't want people to fall into that rut. Maybe not entrepreneurs, founders generally, is that you start a vision and then you're so excited about the prospects of the vision, and then you start to get volunteers or start to get people to outsource. Oh yeah, bring people. If you bring people faster than your company is growing, you're going to crash. So you have to pay attention to how your company is growing so that you don't crash. Because bringing more people means that you have more people to train, you have more money to spend, you have more time. So it's going to be training. So if you're bringing too many people, like to get to that point where it's like, you know what, I don't think we can do this anymore. And then after you have to make people off, because in the first place, you look at how fast or how slowly your company was growing. You were just really excited about let's bring people. Another misconception that people have about structure is people think that structure means that you need to have plenty of people on your team. I'm like, and she has like 8 people. They are reporting to her. No. Structure means something that works for what is meant to work. People who work for what is meant to be done. So if
Mm.
people on your team, as long as the work is getting done well, these people are happy. Everybody is okay. You have a structure that works. When you need to get to the next level, you'll be able to set up structures that you bring in one, two or three more people. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you go. So structure does not mean you have like 4 people. Even if that's 2 people
Mm.
working with you, it is a structure. So as long as it's working, as long as you know
Yeah.
it's what we need for the now, irrespective of what structures other businesses or organizations have. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, wow. I love that part you mentioned about structure, because when people hear structure, is like from the manager to the line manager to the intern
Yeah,
to the, and it's, what we fail to realize is that it's a lot. It's not just you trying to gather people, right? Whether you're
yeah.
paying them or not, like, it's a lot to handle
Mm-hmm.
people. So for you to not handle people that are not doing anything, it becomes a problem. So at some point, I used to tell people that I love to work with really few people, because I mean, it's easier to train them, monitor them, check up on them, because that's part
Yeah,
of it. If they don't show up at work for like 2, 3 days, you cannot shout at them because they were sick or something happened to them somewhere. So you have to be sure that they are doing well. And one other really unique thing that you said in all of this is that structure is making sure that you are bringing people in to do what needs to be done. I feel like that's like what needs to be done. Like, so it's not that you're thinking, we need to run ad, let's bring somebody to the team. And we need
yeah.
to create a design. Let's bring, can you pay a graphic designer to do like 2 designs for you and not bring the person on the team?
Oh God,
Because
exactly.
because actually not everybody is supposed to be your team on your team. Some people are just supposed to come and go. Some people, and I've realized that sometimes you just need to bring some expertise. Okay, this person can maybe create partnership plans, or create budgets and all of that, and maybe audit, and you don't need to bring the person to come. And so once the person audits the company, like after 3 months, what happens in the next 3 months? What are they doing
What
in the organization, or
we
what are they
doing?
doing in your business? So I think that like structure, understanding structure in that perspective really goes a long way for any business owner, founder, anything at all, any structure, anything structure that you have, it goes a long way. Thank you so much for that answer. Yeah. So my next question, I think you still have about 2, 3 questions. So this will be like, so my next question to you is about lady with balls. So why lady with balls? People always clamor that you people, are you showing that you have balls? Are you, what is it to men that have balls? What's wrong with you? So why lady with balls? Let's put it on public TV. In quotes. All right, over
Okay.
to you.
All right. So how do I say that? Living balls is, let me say, living balls is an ideology, right?
Mm,
Living balls is an ideology, and it's the ideology that says I can be confident and I can do what I am supposed to do out of confidence. I don't think we realize how much confidence hinders people from doing stuff on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. There are people who have been on the same spot for 5 years, for 10 years, because there was no confidence. They didn't have the self confidence, they didn't have the self esteem to progress. So when you look at self esteem problems, right, looking at self esteem problems or self confidence problems, I like to see Lady Rewards as a solution to that, helping women to develop self confidence. And that's why we started, right? We started because I was just wondering, exactly do people, how do people manage situations like this? Like in my life, like I would say it also started with my personal story, because I enjoyed a situation where I was like, I consider myself to be a confident, outspoken person. So if I had gone through this for like 2 years without confidence or outspoken, and then I don't overcome that, if I had gone through that, then I could imagine what somebody who did not have the level of confidence that I had would be going through. They would be still be there, they will not be able to move on. You get, so people stay in the same zone on the same level for a very long time. The idea of the group was that we want to help you outgrow low self-esteem, help you build confidence, help you achieve your goals, help you see beyond help you see beyond the now, help, help you see beyond now, connect with other people too, so that a lot of times we learn by imitation. So if you are in a community and somebody is doing well, or people are doing well, it just gives you the impression that you can also do well. If nobody is doing well, like there's no motivation. So that's what Lady Wobbles offers. Lady Wobbles offers inspiration. We offer empowerment, and we offer community. Yeah, so that you don't walk through the journey alone. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I love that. I I was feeling very proud and feeling myself as you were saying it. Thank you so much. So yeah, I love what you said about Lady Rebels being an ideology, because to be very honest, even for us being in the Lady Rebels community is not just about the name, it's about what makes a Lady Rebels. So I remember somebody on the community was sharing an experience today, and she was like, as the Lady Rebels that I am, and I'm like, yo, it's becoming an idea for you, not just being part of the community. So when you're thinking about confidence, you're thinking, I'm a lady with balls, so I have to be confident. I mean, at some point, not even at some point, if you check my CV, one of my CV has, I'm a focused, driven, sassy. If you're a lady with balls, you know those words. Like, it's
Yeah.
already like they stand for you, that that's who you are. And it's on my CV. So I mean, when you see it, you're like, yo, this is somebody. So I really love that. So my next question to you is about the whole idea on turn your pain into purpose. I know that we've heard that a lot of times, and I know that for you, being a confident person wasn't really a pain in itself. It wasn't was something that you had a problem with. You have always, maybe I don't know, but I feel like to the extent in which I know you, have always been a confident person. You have always, believed in yourself. You have always come to a point where you were settled in the kind of person that you were. You were really that person who would think, I don't think I'm a person for that job or something, right? You only saw that it happened with people and decided to turn it. So for me, a lot of time, people, when I tell people I deal with education, they ask me, did you have an issue with education? And I'm trying to rack my brain with this education. I don't get any issue. I just thought, oh, this would be a good thing for children, right? So and I decided to go on to it. But some people hold on to the fact that your pain is your purpose. Your pain is your purpose and all of that, right? So what do you think about that ideologies? I think that's where I want to start from.
Okay. So first of all, purpose does not always stream from pain. It doesn't always come out from pain. You may have a pain, right? But it doesn't mean that you are well equipped to start functioning in a level where you're helping people to overcome that pain. Because there are
Yes,
different levels of pains, right? Some
yes.
pains actually take years to get over. So if you want to wait to the point where you get over a pain, because your pain has to be your purpose, two things could happen. You may step into that purpose prematurely, right? Or you will not even get into purpose at all. So it's just really realizing or coming to that point where you're able to see what's this word? There's this direction, there's this inner direction where you know, okay, this is something that's pulling me, or something that is pulling me further. So everybody, I think everybody has something that pulls them. There's something that you know, if it's mentioned, you sit upright. No matter how conventional it is, no matter how ridiculous it is. So upright. It could just be like you like that's do with children. Well, it, it's not something that somebody else, not anyone talking about children. I don't want to go into it, but do you understand?
Yes.
So it's just being able to sit down, developing yourself also, and looking at it and saying, you know what, is this the direction where I'm to be going? As a spiritual person, there's also the point where you have to realize and you have to lean on God to be able to show you this is exactly what you are doing. Your pain is not enough to give you a purpose. There has to be something higher than your pain. Do you understand? Because if we always say there has to be pain for purpose, what we are trying to say that sometimes God afflicts you with pain so that it can bring purpose out from it, which is untrue. Do you understand? So sometimes pain could be a pointer. Sometimes you feel like, okay, I went through this, I want other people to go through it, and that is valid. right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just something that you're really excited about. When you hear it, you're like, I'm really excited about this thing. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
something that you find unbelievable. You're like, what? You don't know. You mean there are people like, I can't believe this. Sometimes
Mm.
it's just a desire. And like sometimes it could just be, if I get to heaven on the last day, this simple thing that I know that I must do, no matter what, that's what I must do. It could be important. So they're really very important.
Yes.
There could be excitement. There could just be sometimes it's even from other people, come from discussion. What are the discussions that you really lean towards? What are the things that you like to talk about? What are the things that you like to share with other people? So I think what
Mm.
some of everything is still realizing that God is still at the bottom of it, because it does going to be switching purpose every 3 months. Today you're going to
Yeah.
be passionate about this, but if there's God, you find out even if there will be
Mm.
switching, but there will be different dimensions of your purpose. There'll be a direct line you're going to, no matter how long it takes. So pain doesn't necessarily need to have to do with purpose, because your pain could
Purpose.
be cool. What if it has killed you? What will you do? Do you understand? So yeah.
True. It's true, valid. It's true. So I want to pick some things out of what you said. First thing you said, pain doesn't always lead to purpose. It can be a pointer, right? And God is not wicked to say you have to go through that pain for you to discover your purpose. I mean, what if
Mm-hmm.
you died on the way? Who will now do the purpose? Right. So I think that that's very, very important. Another thing you said was, if purpose is that thing that if you get to heaven, you're like, I shall don't do this one. I don't sign, it was good, right? So you're not living and you're not being able to attend to that one thing, or so many things that God has called you into. And I think that is also very important that I mentioned. I mentioned that you said also that pain is not the how do I put it? It's not like the passage. It's not all the time that you have to go through pain
Yeah.
to be able to identify that purpose. You need to lean on God for understanding of what your purpose is. If you keep leaning on pain, you need to go through pain for you to discover anything. That's not sometimes it's not always about you. And one final really big thing that you said was that sometimes, not even sometimes, every time, purpose is beyond pain, it's beyond you, it's beyond
Yeah.
anything you're looking at, right? It's beyond passion,
Yeah.
beyond self, because it has to be something, it has to be anchored on something stronger. And I feel like that's so good. Thank you so much, well. So please, at this point, if you have any question, we'll be rounding off now because I'm asking the last question. So if you have any question, please ask in the comment section so that I can ask as well. So, well, my final question to you would be, what would be your round of advice to anybody who wants to make impact and also make income? So there's somebody probably thinking about how to get into green energy, how to get children into school, how to improve the lives of children by educating their parents, or how to create, just one big vision that has been in their heart for a while, but they understand that this thing cannot work without money. At the same time, it's so much value to give for free all the same, right? Just to make sure that they're putting money, they're placing a price on it, and they're helping people to make sure that they understand that this is valuable content that we're giving to you. What would be your advice to them generally? I'm
Okay.
going to spotlight you.
So all right. So the first thing I would say is start from where you can with what you currently have, no matter how small it is. Start, what is it that you feel like okay you want to do? You want to make impact. Okay, I want to reach 1,000 people. I want to reach 1,000 men. How exactly can I reach one man? Because you have impact here. Impact is not just reaching people. If you're going to make impact, right? One thing you will eventually find out is that the people you're going to be impacting, what happened to my people you're going to be impacting a lot of times are going to be similar in some way. They may be similar in behavior, they may be similar in character traits, they may be similar in where they live, but they're going to be similar. Maybe not all that similar, right? They may look very different, but they're going to be similar. The reason you are here, the reason you registered for this live session is it's for a similar reason somebody else um, somebody else signed up. So you may just feel like, oh, I just signed up because it was Della. No, but If it did not appeal to you, you would not have signed up. So there is something that has made you sign up, perhaps a desire to be more, a desire to step out, a desire to come forth. And because there is that desire, others have the same desire that you have, and that's why you are all here. There could also be behaviors. You may be somebody who is really passionate about personal growth and development, and everybody else has traits of people who are passionate about personal growth and development. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because when people look at, oh, I want to reach 1,000 people, I want to talk to 1,000 people, many times these 1,000 people are very similar, one way or the other. The people who, okay, I don't want to mention names, sorry, but the people who support Wizkid fiercely, for instance, they have a particular trait. The people support Portable. You just know that they are connecting lines. They are not all, they may be completely different, but they have connecting lines. So if you want to reach 1,000 people, your goal is to be able to sufficiently start with one person. Once you are able to reach that one person, you can now move on to reaching 5 people. You can move on to reaching 100 people, so that at least impact can be rewarded, impact can be sure, right? You cannot impact everybody in this world. Do you understand? Because impact has to do with two things: what you do and how the person receives what you do. So if the person does not receive what you do, no matter how amazing it is, you can't call it impact. There has to be sort of feedback where I'm giving and the other person is receiving, and then there's visible change. My work actually matters and counts to this person. So you want to reach like 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people. Start with one person. Start from exactly where you are. Number two, what does you do? You won't pay attention to people who do what you do, right? And it doesn't mean this for you to copy, but it's you exposing yourself to the terrain. So that's how it works. Right? So these people, how exactly do they make money? Yes, these are things you need to find out. Do they make money by doing their beneficiaries directly? Do they make money by selling stuff? Do they make money by raising funds? Who are their partners? What do they offer their partners? These are questions that you want to be able to ask, so that it's not just this is not working. Sometimes it's not that it's not working. It's that you are trying to build a vision on a faulty model, so it's not going to work. Even though yes, you received that vision, yes, it is your vision, yes, it makes a lot of sense, yes, it is supposed to impact lives, right? So that's what I would just say. Two, what can you start with the least amount? What exactly can you do right now? Yes, and so in tech, of course, there's something called an MVP, a minimum viable product. So it's saying that, so this product that I am trying to create, what would it cost for us to reach somebody and make money from it? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I can decide that, okay, our minimum viable product is A. And I'm sure that if this thing goes to the market, if this thing goes to market, if we reach people, it would mean something to them. It would be able to get the results. But a minimum viable product does not mean that it's large, right? It means it is small enough to be relevant. So, for instance, if you want to reach, let's say, career professionals, and then you're like, I want to reach 1 million career professionals over a period of time, how can I reach just one career professional and be sure that I can make money from this? How will I charge them? What do I want to offer to them, so that it's a lot easier to scale? So I hope I answered your question, Della.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of questions here. The first question here says, how do you deal with as an entrepreneur or a career person that wants to make impact? How do you deal with disappointment of not reaching a predetermined goal, or disappointment of people you look up to?
Okay, well, there's this thing that I learned early on, or I don't know what I'm saying early on, but I learned it early on when it comes to reaching predetermined goals. And I'm not saying everybody has to follow that. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to bring in learnings from that. And you know what they used to say? They used to say, when I worked there, they'll say, targets are not meant to be met. Yeah. So, but there's a minimum level you need to reach for you to know that, okay, this is, well, I'm not going to fire her. She's going to stay on board, right? So, for targets, right, if your company gives you let's say 10 million naira target in sales, and you can easily reach that target, then it means that you're not like you're giving you a target less than you should be given.
Than you should be given, yeah.
Do you understand? So that's why when they give you a target and you easily miss the target, the next year or the next season, they increase the target.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's like if you can easily miss this target, you are already performing less than good. So sometimes we meet targets because we set the banner too low. Do you understand that? Sometimes the reason you're meeting your target, you're like, target every time, 100 people, 200 people, 50, 100 people. It's because the target was too low in the first place. So you easily met it.
Yeah.
It doesn't now mean you should have set something that's incredibly high or something. But I'm just trying to say that sometimes you're not reaching your predetermined goal. It doesn't mean that it has to do with you. It could just mean that there are growth gaps that you need to invest in. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be with you as a person. So you don't feel this. You do not meet it, you do not meet it. Actually, it is something that you're running by yourself. So if you didn't meet a target, how can I step back and say, okay, what should we have done better? Because there should always be reviews. What should we have done better? What should I have paid attention to? Was it the time I launched this product? Was it how I announced this? Was it at this? You want to be able to step back, right? And it is in reviewing you will be able to decide, or let me say, reviewing gives you the strength to not criticize yourself, right? Because if you give yourself a target, now I'm saying targets in terms of goals. If you set yourself a goal and you do not reach that goal, normally your head starts to say, I failed at this, I'm a failure, why didn't I do this? But if you're able to rephrase that learning process and you're like, okay, why didn't I reach this goal? There's a plane flying over this place and it's making, gosh, which kind of plane is
Sorry. Sorry.
But if you're able to step back and say, okay, why didn't I meet this goal? Even though you did not reach that goal, it's not a failure because now you know what you do better next time. So many times we don't give reviews. We're just like, I failed at it, and then you're blaming yourself for it. But failure does not mean that you're a failure. A failure could just be there things that you should have done better. A failure could be pointing you to growth gaps that you did not pay attention to. And a lot of times when you're starting is even the best time to fail, because you get to a level where you can't afford to fail on a global level. You have minimum maximum level of failure that you can have per level. So sometimes this is where you have to fail as much as you can, because if you have to make this failure on a greater level, it would be more humiliating, it would be more embarrassing. Disappointment of people that you talk to. Well, for me, I just really tell myself that I'm human. Like, you have to come to terms with your humanity. And you find that a lot of times, so we need to give ourselves the grace that other people give us. And I can tell you for free that the people who care about you will not be disappointed in you when you seemingly fail. Unless it has to do with something that maybe like a character problem, and then we've had cases of character problem or fraud or serious character problems like that. But when it comes to you didn't achieve this, all of that, honestly, people who care about you see you as human. I can promise you. So you have to give yourself the grace that other people give you, and you also have to extend the grace that you extend to other people, because many of us extend graces to other people. You're like, you believe other people, you care about other people, you believe the best of them, you encourage them, you are always step them, you not extend that same grace to your own self. You need to do that. You see the way we are like this, no matter if we die, we are always going to make mistakes. We are always going to fail at one thing or the other, and it doesn't in any way define you. Finally, I think there's just, when it comes to this, you need to be able to separate yourself from the work that you produce. You need to be able to separate yourself from the work that you do. So if I fail at lunch, for instance, it doesn't mean I failed. Lunch failed. That's lunch's problem. My own duty is to step back and say, okay, what could have happened? If I close down any of my expressions today, it doesn't mean I failed. That failed, or that just outlived, or it already outlived its purpose. It's okay. So you must be able to separate what you do from who you are, because who you are bears what you do. You bet other aspects of your life. Once you're able to get this to sink in, even if you feel like you failed at something, your identity still impact, because well, you were there all the time, and if you create something from scratch, you can always create it again. Yeah.
Start again. Yeah, it's true. Also, so this last question, I think you're the perfect person to answer it. It says, how do you manage the transition from a 9-to-5 job to becoming a business owner?
Okay, so I think the first way to manage it is to look at the business you are going into, or the business you want to start. Many times people encourage that you start first at a side or so you understand the terrain, you understand what is going on, you understand what is the in thing, and then you can say, okay, this is what I should be doing. Because if you suddenly make the move from 9 to 5 to business, to being a business owner, without paying attention to what the field of the business is, you may crash too early. So you want to look at the field. What is this field? What is the what are the chances that I would fly in this field immediately? So there are some fields that will take you at least 5 years to get settled. So up to that 5 years, you're really just going to find it on your feet. If you go into that field and you do not have resources or other skills that can augment in those 5 years of being established, struggle. Right now, number two thing that is popular advice that people usually have is, so before you move, how much do you have? How much can you save? Or how much do you have saved? So that there's a sort of cushion before you just make that switch to becoming a business owner. Because I can tell you, being a business owner is crazy. It is a lot crazy. You have a lot of uncertain times, right? And it's just like, this is scaring me, I don't know. Right. So it's very, very uncertain. It's already very, very uncertain. So you want to look at, okay, so how much do I have saved? How much do I need to live? If I don't buy any unnecessary stuff, I don't buy clothes, I don't buy shoes, I don't buy bags over the next 3 months, will I be able to survive just eating? Maybe I'm going to buy bulk food. Will I be able to survive? How much do I need to survive? Do you understand? Once you're able to get that, you want to look at, okay, so what are my opportunities in this area? What are the best practices, so that you can fly as soon as possible? But if you can, I would recommend that you first start as a side hustle. When you start as a side hustle, you're able to say, okay, this is something I can do for the long term, or this is something that I can I shouldn't be doing long term, at least not for now. And yes, you also want to look at seasons. Sometimes it's not the season for you to move, right? So when you move, it's going to be really hard. You're going to be struggling. It may not be the season for you to move. So you also have to be sensitive to seasons. Okay, is it time for me to move? Should I leave or should I still stay? I think that also matters. Yeah. So thank you. I can't hear you, Della.
Okay, sorry, I was muted for a bit. I mean, this has been a lot. This has been a lot to take in. As I wanted to start writing, but I'm like, just compose. We'll go back later and go and rewatch. But really, it has been so much. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. I'm sure that people are going to come and rewatch, and people have been watching since the beginning. They will have so much. I mean, you came for us like you are never ready for what's about to hit you, and it was it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. I know
It's a pleasure.
that this was like a whole something on business, social impact structure. Ah, God, this is a master class.
It's a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much, Orifunke.
It's
We
a
really,
pleasure.
really appreciate you. Thank you for
Thank you.
coming on board. This has been an amazing session. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you for
Thank you.
coming on. Our next session will be on Saturday. Bye.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much. Yeah, bye. So our next session will be with Kayode Oluwaseun, who is going to be taking us on education. And for anybody who is an education entrepreneur, anybody who is supposed to you know do anything relating to education, you want to learn more about education, you want to really see it from his lens, you want to build something also in tech, God, you have to be there, because this is Sean's field. He's tech a tech guru, has a startup schooling. I should check him out on Instagram and check what he's building. He has gotten funds, so he wants to now come and get funds for your business and for a lot of other things. You should come for this session. Honestly, for me, even when I even got him like to say he was going to come, it didn't take a lot, but I really understand the level from which he looked at it from, and I'm willing to ask all the relevant questions to make sure that we are taking everything that we need from this session. So please come around. We're going to start just immediately the same way we started today. Please come around, come and learn, come and have fun learning and writing down all the things that you need for your becoming. I hope that this was an amazing session and it meant a lot to you as it meant to me. I hope that this blessed you so much. I don't me take the part of the night. Please just take it. On Saturday we'll see somebody else contend with you, but for now take it. So thank you everyone. Have a great night and have an amazing rest of the week. I hope that we would maximize all of these things that I've learned so far, so that we would have more space to take in the one for Saturday. All right, now good night everyone. Bye.